come out. But the Vatican plays a huge role in a lot of things. I mean, they're stronger than any government in the world right now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you got over 1 billion Catholics, and uh, and they have huge amounts of money and power, and and it would be really good if they were to begin to play a positive role in all of this because they know a lot. They understand a lot of the stuff we're talking about. Uh, in fact, the plasma beings. I was invited to go on one of their ships before I went down in that thing there through Carlos Diaz. Carlos Diaz was on board, first went on board their ship in 1991, and he's been on there many, many times. And when he was on board one of the ships, I don't remember when this was. I got to think it was uh, probably in the late '90s. Yeah, late '90s. Uh, uh, he was on board the ship, and they came, and the plasma beings on board the ship came to him on the ship and said, "We want you to go to Drunvalo Melchizedek and give him everything you have, because he has 1,800 hours of video of them up close and personal, and he's got over no, excuse me, 200 hours of video and over 1,800 photographs of them up very close."
Has he ever made it public?
No, only little tiny bits and pieces of it. But they told him, give him everything, give me everything, and I will put it out to the world. He never even heard of me. Didn't he have any idea who I was? And he had to kind of do some research to find out where he was. And then he invited me to come down to Mexico City to talk with him. Well, I was already privy about the plasma beings at that point because I had my own people that were filming them and everything else. And so I went down there. I met him at a restaurant in Mexico City. We talked for about 3 or 4 hours, and and I don't know where I was going with that.
So, do you have plans to make any of these videos public?
I've tried to get him to do this, and what happened? Oh, this is where it was leading into. When I was down there, let me just lead this part and come back to the Pope. The When I was there, he told me stories about them and things about them. And then he says, the beings have told me to give you everything, which I'm setting up and I'm going to give you everything. But they also told me that you can go on board one of their ships if you want to. I just closed my eyes and asked the angels, can I do this? And they said, yes, no problem. And I said, okay, yeah, what do we do? And he says, well, they'll give me an exact time and to the minute, a day and time and location. And all you have to be there is just be there. And you can bring up to 100 people with you to watch it. And you can film it all you want. And you can release the films all you want anywhere in the world. We don't care. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And so he came back a little later and told me exactly when and where and all this other stuff. Meantime, I went to Hollywood because friends with certain people there, like Marty Hornstein, who did the Star Trek movies, and got connection through to some of them. And that was the filming crew I was bringing down there was the one that had been filming them. They were excited, and it seemed like the right thing to do.
Right. Absolutely.
and and so then I came back here waiting for it. In the meantime, while this was 2 months in the future, I was waiting for it. Pope Paul, asked him to come to the Vatican, that he wanted to talk to him about the plasma beings. And so he went there, and while he was there, uh, these who they were, I don't know, but they arrived in these black automobiles, dressed in black with machine guns, and they went in and they kidnapped some of his family, and then told the rest of their family that if he keeps working with me, they will kill him and all of his family, and to convince him not to work with me anymore. So when he got back from the Vatican, he wouldn't talk to me. He wouldn't answer any of my phone calls or anything at all. And then it took about 6 months, and he sent an individual up here, a Mexican individual up here to talk to me and explain that what had happened, that his family had been kidnapped, and he was afraid to continue working with me. And so